IPS currently offers traditional sports, but what about less traditional sports? In fact, IPS says that maybe one day this football field could double as a lacrosse field.
Jeremy says 1 in 5 Hoosiers can't even read at a 5th grade reading level, which means they can't read the daily newspaper. Tavares went back into the burning building a total of 8 times. He saved 8 animals, including his own, Bettis and Pig.
This Little Caesars, located at 22nd and Meridian, is back open after the health department shut them down last night. A man made allegations that he found mouse droppings in his pizza.
When Arlington Heights Veterinary Hospital caught on fire late last month, it could have been a disaster. Thanks to an overnight vet assistant, no one, including 5 dogs and 3 cats, was hurt.
It sounded just like that, but there was an extra beep, so I was like, that's not the pump.
Tavares Rochelle was hearing the fire alarm. He says after discovering a fire in the clinic, the animals were all he could think about.
The room got really, really, really freaking hot. And just out of nowhere, it just erupts. It just goes. And my first thought was, I gotta get these patients out of here.
The temperatures can get up over 300 degrees pretty quick.
Tavares went back into the burning building a total of 8 times. He saved 8 animals, including his own, Bettis and Pig.
Right there, right there, right there.
Tavares walked away with minor injuries, but Lieutenant Clark says the building will take a lot of cleanup to make it functional again. Tavares says he has received an amazing amount of praise for saving the animals, but he also says he was just doing his job.
I'm no hero. I did it because I knew it's what needed to be done, and I would do it again.
A coworker set up a GoFundMe for Tavares as he takes time off from work. You can donate to that page at gofundme.com/Tavares-Rochelle. Friends and family of David Whitcamper and Kyle Hipst are mourning today after the 2 men passed away last week in a small plane accident.
I'm wondering if you went on a date with Kyle and you said, what are you going to pick me up in? And he said, a Cessna. How would that go?
David was, in many ways, the kind of man that we aspire to be. He was athletic, he was brave, he was daring. But on the other hand, he was generous, and he was kind, and he was caring.
Hundreds of community members and first responders attended the funeral of the 2 fallen heroes.
We lost 2 of the greatest firefighters and individuals I've ever had the privilege to lead.
The fireman's bell rang out 9 times. Taps played. Tears were wept. The procession included over 110 fire and rescue vehicles from over 7 different counties. Community members say despite the tragedy, if there's a silver lining, it was the community coming together.
A feeling of love and community from all of us. I hope they know that that's a long-standing feeling that we all have for them, that will always be there to support them.
You've got an entire high school of kids standing out on the side of the road to honor 2 amazing people that really deserve the credit that they're getting today.
Morgan John says it's important for those kids to see who a true hero is.
I think as the community, it gives us a sense of pride of who we are. There's something pretty special about the little town.
The families were presented universal keys to the township to assure them that the men will never be forgotten. In the newsroom, I'm Alexandra Rudig, 24-Hour News 8.
September 28th, 2016. Adrian Jimenez committed suicide.
This was his very last Snapchat right before he went to work that night.
He seemed fine when I dropped him off from work that night. Everything changed in 2 hours.
The IU sophomore had dreams of living in Canada and being a filmmaker. His mother, Michelle Jimenez, says he was a character, enthusiastic and kind. Adrian reminded her of Robin Williams, full of life and always willing to help others.
Just amazed me how he can help save them, but he just didn't have the means to save himself.
Adrian walked on this campus like many other IU students, with a heavy heart, overwhelmed and under pressure. That's why co-president of You Bring Change to Mind IU, Christine Ake, says it's important for students to get help when they need it on this campus.
You come to a new city without your parents adjusting to like a more adult life. larger expectations on you to do well and perform and succeed when you're surrounded by 40,000 other students who also want to be the best of the best. It's a lot for students to take in.
According to Crisis on Campus, 1 in 12 college students will plan his or her suicide.
You know that they're feeling hopeless, desperate. They don't see a light at the end of the tunnel.
Each one of them had their own saying. Well, he's had that since he was able to talk, 2 years old. His famous words were, I love you 1920. And just to hear those words again would be amazing.
Michelle says things will never be the same, but she hopes students with similar issues will reach out for help, even if that means confiding in her.